upper garden where I was growing tomatoes this summer and a cucumber and some beans, just little stuff that I had transplanted once we moved here at the beginning of August. But as you can see, there are rose bushes in the back and they're growing into the garden, and I want to redo this whole thing because everything's at a slant. So it's not how it's being filmed, that's actually how it is. It's slanted. And when you water it, all the water runs off the side. So I want to clean up this area, start getting it prepped for next year. So my plan is, hopefully, to get all those rose bushes cut out and pulled up. So I'm going to get the frame pulled out, move that one tomato plant out because it's in a pot, and then I am going to get busy and get the fence down somehow and start cutting and hauling away all those roses. Okay, let's get started. Let's take a closer look at those roses. As you can tell, the roses are just overrunning into here. So what they're doing is sending out runners or whatever under the ground. And I mean, it's just loaded with rose bushes in here. So I've got this whole swath to cut out. It's going to take some work, but we'll see what we can get done. I'll cut what's on this side first and then get working on the other side. Okay, now I'm going to start on the big nasty part. Let's see what I can get done. So what I'm going to try to do is level out this garden so it's flat, so the water, etc., doesn't pour off the side. So I bought some cedar and I'm going to level it out. It's going to have a bit of a funky shape to it because I don't want to cut the 2x6s. I want to use all of it to make as big a bed as I can. So we'll see what it is as I get going. Hi everybody, it is April 8th of 2020 and Mom and I just finished this bed. Now I have to tell you, she is the one that brought up most of the compost. I told her to stop, I had to run downtown. By the time I got back, she basically had it all in here. So, gonna get these vegetables planted up. Okay, so I've got my peas planted and next I think I will do my spinach. I've got the spinach planted. I have some down in the pool garden. But now I have my row of kale in. Now there is a couple plants in some of them. I'm just going to see who grows the strongest and then I can always cut out the weakest. Up where our upper garden is, we have some rhubarb that was planted here previously, and we have some more as well. So what I'm going to do is break all this up over here so that while I'm working on getting the blueberries in, Mom's going to prep this patch here, and this is where we're going to plant all of our rhubarb plants. We have a busy day. First garden bed here is going to be for the tomatoes, and these will be the paste tomatoes. So I've got San Marzanos that I'm trying out this year. I was hoping to get some Amish paste, didn't get them. And I also want to try out the Italian heirloom, so I'll get those two for next year. We've got a rhubarb patch over here. These first two we got from a friend. These other two, which I transplanted from another spot on our place, seem to be gotten a bit sunburned, and that's probably because they came out from under the shade. Now I dug out more of the rose bushes, got to get rid of all of that. Gonna plant our pumpkins up there. Here's the garden spot for in the upper garden for my San Marzano tomatoes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a few feet For tomatoes, a hard path to walk through, some more room for tomatoes, and then at the back where the other garden is, another pathway to walk through. So I can pick tomatoes from either side. And then the veggies that I planted in the upper garden need to come out because we did end up getting asparagus crowns, and that is where our asparagus is going to go. So today or tomorrow, I will get those out of there. Time to get to work. So I've got this all raked out. I was actually doing it on video, but I'd run out of storage, so I had to delete a bunch of stuff. I've built up the back a bit for the pathway. Didn't want to put a bunch of compost there. And so now I am going to start hauling up compost and get this thing filled up. So this is the upper garden, and I pulled all the veggies out of it so that I can plant the asparagus in here. And I've got some tomatoes that are falling over. But I'm going to dig deep holes into the ground, put compost in, cover them up, and then I'll build up the compost around them. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to lay out my tomato cages to give me an idea of how much space I need for each one, at least approximately. I can do 6 of them across easily. So that's what my plan is. I'll get started digging. Okay, time to start digging holes for our asparagus. The rocks in the center are just my dividing line. We have 15 of Giant Jersey and 15 of Mary Washington. So I'm going to need to dig 15 holes. I'm going to start with the far end and work my way this way. So we're digging 5 trenches. So there's one, we're skipping one, another one, skipping 2, and there's another one. And Mom's just getting them ready and then putting them in the ground. And those are our Jersey Giants. We got 5 rows done, and Mom's just tossing in some compost, and then she'll put the root crowns in and I'll cover it up, and we're going to be done with our asparagus bed. Well, I got to water it. And there it is, all done. Doesn't look like much now, but we got 30 asparagus crowns down there. So, their second year, we might be able to have like a handful next year. But the year after that, we'll be good to go. Just gotta water it in. And we do have a few peas down the side, so I'm gonna give them a good watering, and maybe we'll get some yet. All right, just gonna finish this off, and I think it's probably lunchtime. Been a busy morning. And there they are. I'm so happy. Got them planted in. Now, the light stuff is just shavings. When we planted the asparagus, there was some shavings in there, and threw that in there. Got some more compost here if I plant some more tomatoes up here. But I'm just going to check them, see if they need water, which I'm thinking they will. I will water them every day for the first week, and then just water as needed. The rhubarb we transplanted is coming along. Because we transplant, we weren't able to pull anything off of it this year. So hopefully next year, and I'll top it with compost. But overall, you know, considering how bad the year was, how long it took to get all the beds made, it hasn't been terrible bad. So let's just do a quick review. Okay, so let's do that review of the upper garden. It worked out pretty good. I'm really happy with how it is so far. I never did get on the other side of the fence and cut the roses out. That will be a job for next year. Well, we'll see. It's not high on my priority list. I will be digging out the roses that grow up in the spring on our side of the property, but I've got a lot of work to do, so we'll see if I actually get to that next spring or not. This pumpkins grew great, but not gonna grow pumpkins there. Can't speak. Not gonna grow pumpkins there next year. We don't eat that much pumpkin, we've decided. And the Cinderella are a pretty pumpkin, really pretty, but they're really mild flavor. So when you bake with it, you really don't get pumpkin flavor. And I really wanted to put it in like my Thai food, my yellow curry, because it's really good, but when we put it in there, and you just couldn't taste the pumpkin. So we're gonna move our zucchini patch, will go up there, and I'm gonna see if I can't find some seeds for pie pumpkins, and then, you know, maybe plant 2 or 3 and just sort of let them grow down the hillside. And I would like to freeze dry some pumpkin and use it in my baking, so we'll see. And if it works out, I'll have to share a video on using my freeze dried pumpkin if it works. We'll wait and see what happens with that. We'll see if the asparagus comes up. I'm hoping it does. It came up, so I'm assuming. We'll see, but you never know, right? All an experiment. Definitely going to be putting more compost in where we had the tomatoes. Again, that will be where I put my determinate San Marzano tomatoes next year. We'll hopefully be able to eat some of the rhubarb next year because it will be another year of growth. And so hopefully we can get that out of there. And I want to put some beds along the fence and put in some cucumbers and Mexican red beans. So those are the plans. We'll see in the spring what actually gets accomplished. But I just want to say thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, click on that subscribe button. And if you found it interesting at all, click on the like button. And we will talk to you later, next video. And I think the next video is going to be a fun one, all about the puppies playing in the snow. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you later.